friends, relatives, strangers, and enemies, welcome yet again to another episode of the Texas Conservative Channel, where I make it my own personal business to talk about the flaws and the failures of the Democrat Party. As well, I make it my own personal business to talk about the flaws and the failures of all the enemies facing the United States of America. And here on the Texas Conservative Channel, I always let it be known that if you want to get to heaven, you got to raise a little hell. So while we're raising a little hell, I want to point out some things that have occurred in the news today. Iranian President Ahmadinejad said that embargoes will not hurt his country, that they would be ineffective, and that would do nothing to help the Iranian nuclear issue. Now, it's all a charade anyway by the Iranians, as if they're actually going to cooperate on the nuclear issue. And everybody that's anybody knows that Iran wants to acquire nuclear weapons. So let's cut the bull here. And in episodes past of the Texas Conservative Channel, I've addressed world leaders. And this episode is going to be one of those. So without further ado, let me address President Ahmadinejad and the Supreme Leader of Iran, who runs his show for him. Now, to speed up this process, to expedite this process and to make understanding more clear, I am going to put this subtitle in Farsi, the Iranian, the Persian dialect, and the Persian script. This makes for better understanding of the message that I'm about to give here on the Texas Conservative Channel. Now, it's been made clear to the world about what Iran feels and what President Ahmadinejad feels that could not hurt him, that things that could not hurt Iran. Well, let's examine in reality the things that could indeed hurt Iran. You know, Iran has vast oil reserves and resources. There's no question about it. But Iran has not acquired the intelligence to refine their own oil into gas. So they must outsource it. They must do it. And there's not many locations that they do that. So there's no doubt that if the United States had a conflict with Iran, that cutting off those gas supplies and those refining capacities would be one of the main goals of the United States of America, and it would definitely hurt Iran. Now, let's examine military weapons that could hurt Iran. You know, Iran likes to talk about their Quds forces and their many terrorist training camps, freedom fighters as they call it. They like to talk about how powerful the new weapons that they've acquired from Russia are getting. You know, they are no match for the military resources that the United States could apply. For instance, you know, Iran has come out with a new Russian sub. That's no match for the subs the United States has. You know, Iran has come out with a new missile defense. Well, you know, the United States has so many missiles and a different array of missiles that any new missile defense on Iran's part would be rudimentary and absolutely ineffective. So it's a waste of time on the Iranians' part. So, Mr. Ahmadinejad, here are the facts. The United States has several battle groups in the Indian Ocean and throughout other oceans of the world. Each battle group, each naval battle group has, you know, a couple of nuclear submarines, and these nuclear submarines carry Trident missiles, 20 to 24 of them. Each missile can be launched from any part of the globe in the ocean, and the missile can hit any part of the globe from its location. And now, needless to say, what one missile carrying 10 nuclear warheads could do to Iran, you know, You can imagine what, 20 missiles launched at Iran could do. It would be very damaging. There'd be nothing Iran could do. Muhammad himself could do nothing to stop it. The destruction would be absolute. The destruction would be quick. And that's just with, the Trident missiles. There's also Tomahawk missiles. There's B-52s. There's drones. There's F-22 Raptors. There's all kinds of military hardware that the United States has that could cause immediate and absolute destruction to the nation of Iran. So the leaders of Iran are not being rational in their decisions. As they get into this rift, as this rift between Israel and Iran goes on and on and on and on, the less rational the leaders of Iran become. So I'm wondering, Mr. Ahmadinejad, are you sane? Do you not care that the United States could destroy your country very quickly and very easily with relatively little damage to its own country? Sometimes I wonder, if indeed it is the desire of the Iranians and the desire of your nation, if it is the desire of Persia to die or to be destroyed in a nuclear war with the United States, then as time progresses and as attitudes don't change, then the likelihood of that happening becomes ever more real. Persistence pays off, and it's a wish it's a terrible to wish for, but it seems something the Iranians, your nation, it seems something that the Persian Empire is hell bent on, and there has to be a way out of it. Surely there has to be a way out. Maybe if you try to implement the Texas Conservative Peace Proposal and move the Palestinians to Iran, leaving that territory there in Israel not to be disputed anymore, it could, the Great War, the apocalyptic war, which seems to be right around the horizon, maybe it would never transpire. Maybe it would never transpire. Please consider this, leaders of Iran. Please consider Ahmadinejad. You need to know, because the people in my government here in the United States of America, it's not diplomatic etiquette to explain how much power the United States has. They leave that for people like me to do, the pundit, the critic. And here on the Texas Conservative Channel, I'm going to do it. I'm going to point out the flaws and the failures of the Democrat Party. I'm going to point out the flaws and the failures of the enemies that face the United States of America, the country I love. And one of those enemies is the country of Iran. And if you want to hear more about it, just come right here to the Texas Conservative Channel, where I talk about it, where I leave no stone unturned, where I leave no radical Islamic bullshit unchallenged. It will be met here on the Texas Conservative Channel. I'm going to talk about them, and there's nothing that can stop me. If a terrorist thinks he can stop me, if the Iranians want to try to stop me, send somebody here. Until then, I'm going to keep on doing it. And those of you that are not liking it, come back and watch it anyway. I hope it burns your butt up. For those of you that are enjoying it, you know where to come get your laughs, and you know where to catch some reality. And we'll see you on the next episode.